All right. Um, let's get some opinions here. This is a time where I actually do ask for opinions and thoughts. What are typically the standards for courts or family court in regards to, or just in relationships and people? What are kind of like the standards in regards to introducing new partners to your children? What are some things that you guys have done? So I know in my experience, my kids are introduced to a new guy just within the last year alone. There's probably been about 5 or 6 that I know of that my children have not only been introduced to, but have been brought to hotels when they didn't even, brought to hotel rooms when they didn't even know the person, taken care of and brought to, do haircuts and things like that. So roles that typically would be something that, a long-time boyfriend or girlfriend would do to help, take care of the kids. But just wondering what are like kind of are there any sort of standards at all for this, or can people just introduce over and over, different partner after different partner to children, young children, 5 and 7? I know it's extremely frustrating for me to know that every few weeks or months there's a new guy being introduced to my children, and I have told this to the courts, and incompetent Judge Cindy Cormier from the Nova Scotia seems to not find this a problem, So I'm just wondering, are there any standards at all anymore, or has that just been thrown out the window as well? And again, my videos, not to put anyone down, not to spread anything but like awareness of the situation of what is going on, that the system needs to change. Kids need both their parents in their lives, and parents need to stop acting like children and be mature, good adults and do what's best for the children. Now, that can be very tough in cases where adults themselves have gone through so much trauma as children that they have now mental illness, and that mental illness is causing them to make decisions that directly affect negatively the children over and over and over again. It's interesting that in my case, my ex is working so hard to take my rights away as a father. Currently, she's trying to cut all contact with my children. She's been trying to do that for the past 4 years. But yet they're being introduced to all these random guys over and over again, And so it's interesting. It's like from a psychological point of view, looking at like someone who would do that. So you won't let them spend time with their father, who is desperately wanting to spend time with his children and be a dad, who is an amazing dad, yet you will leave them alone leave them and bring them around all these different random strange men who I don't even know of. People message me, tell me all these things. A real man, in my opinion, if I'm dating someone, okay, if I'm dating a woman, and I'll tell you my example, when I started dating Sarah, my now wife, okay, and things started to, the shadow of my hair looks kind of funky. Anyways, when I started dating Sarah, my now wife, things started to get pretty serious, and after several months of dating, okay, I reached out to her ex-husband, and I did that because that's what I felt as a man I need to do. I'm going to be now coming around his children, his adopted children. And I just felt like that was a basic thing for a man to do. Listen, I'm dating Sarah now, blah, blah, blah. Things are getting serious. Just wanted to let you know I'm Hugh, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to be around your children, blah, blah, blah. I have not received one message from any of these men that have been around my children. That right there tells you what type of guys these are being around your children. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's something that's not normal to do. And I'd like to get you guys' opinion on that. But yeah, if you're dating a new girl or whatever, and it's just out of the man code to do something like that, out of man to respect. I have not received one message from any of these guys. Okay? Probably because for them, they knew why they were there and that they weren't sticking around or something, and that, you know, whatever. But anyways, bringing this to light, the court system has failed my children. Judge Cindy Cormier has done nothing but make things worse for my children and for our situation. Instead of trying to help and see how we can resolve things, she has just created a bigger gap in the problem. And that's the sad truth. I don't know where they're finding these judges, these people to make decisions, but that's what's happening. And I'm bringing light and awareness to the situation. More people need to be aware of what's going on and need to know that fathers have rights, children need their fathers, and this has nothing to do with me and my ex. It's like the judge, every time she comes on, every time she comes on the court, all she does is talk about how years ago I used to get so frustrated and mad because my ex literally stole my kids illegally and would not let me talk to them. I would get so upset and mad that I would say mean things to my ex, write her messages, all this stuff. I definitely didn't go about it the right way, but you can imagine as a father having your kids stolen from you and kept from you, how that would feel. And so the only thing the judge does now is go on like, oh, you keep on talking bad, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, first of all, that was years ago. Second of all, like, what about the now? What are we doing here? Just like, it just doesn't make sense at all. She completely disregards everything that is happening now and doesn't take action on anything, and it's completely clueless. Anyway, so I am working very hard to change the situation. It's not easy at all. I'm not just sitting back complaining about it and doing nothing. It's not easy. It's a very slow process. If you thought the U.S. court system was slow here, okay, imagine take the U.S. family court system, if you think that's a slow process, okay, and slow that down, okay, by 10. And that's might be the Canadian court system. It's absolutely ridiculous. But anyways, I am working hard to make changes for my children, and they deserve better. They do not deserve that type of environment. And they deserve better. And my wife and I are working hard to provide that better quality life for my children, as well as for her children, who have also been put into a disgusting situation with just the manipulation is just out of this world. From the girls that I met, my wife's girls, her adopted girls, to the girls that they are today, it's like they're two different people. You ever hear that Stockholm syndrome? Well, that's pretty much what is happening with her girls, which is also very sad. Anyways, here's my morning thoughts. So anyways, to recap, what are your thoughts on the relationship, introducing partners to your kids? How long? What's the circumstance? Should you let the father or the parent know? And then for you guys or girls out there, if you're dating someone new, like, do you reach out to the ex-partner, introduce yourself out of some sort of, respect or code? So anyways, hope everyone has a great day. Okay, this comes from love for my children. This comes from love for everyone, to just get along, to be better, to let the past go, and just be a good, kind person and a good parent. Your kids will grow up one day and remember and see and be traumatized from what you do as a parent, how you act as a parent in a negative way. And I tell my kids all the time, kids, you have to be the example of the one that shows kindness and love to everyone, no matter if they are being mean. Usually I tell them, usually people that are mean, they don't have enough love in their life. So maybe be kind to those people, and we can all do the same. So cheers, everyone.